Okay, this is a quick video of 4 dynamic drivers. I'm doing this video because these are going to be going out probably tomorrow, and I'll probably be raffling one or both of these. So I want to kind of give a comparison. Now is the time to start integrating the world, Japanese, American stuff, and then compare it and then put it into my list. So having a Chinese-based list only. I will continue to have a Chi-Fi list, but because people really want to buy what's best, that's going to be not regional specific, obviously. So making a modified ranking, having my favorites. Again, this is my opinion. Who cares? Um, don't give a shit who cares. It's my opinion. It's my channel. Like everybody else that has a channel website, they're basically giving their opinion. Nobody does reviews. Let's get that out of the way. Nobody has a license. There is no standard way of doing things, and everybody's ears are different because they have different ages. They listen to different types of music, and they're expecting different types of things. So nobody is a reviewer. It shouldn't be in the title of my thing, but I'm too lazy to move it. Maybe someday. We're all displayers, highlighters, opinion givers. That's it. That's it. Nobody, from a guy with 100 subscriptions and a new site to somebody that's been around for 10 years, is any better than the other. Going off of mental memory or being able to access a bigger amount of gear is a benefit, but that doesn't make their opinion better. Get that out the side. So I don't get any more respect than a new guy does. I don't expect it, and it shouldn't be that way. But my opinion on these 4 is what I'm going to give you. I remembered that I liked these, the JVC 1100, FX 1100s, a lot, and it was one of 2 things that I regretted ever letting go, and I got them back, and I've listened to them, and I remembered why they were so impressive. Out of the 4, which one do I think is the best? I actually have these laid out in the order that I think they are. I think that these are clearly the best, and I think they are. Uh, I think the Whizzer is just been dropped a notch in my opinion, but it's an outstanding IEM. But if we're not talking about money, and we're talking just about sound quality, I think the EX1000s and the DM6 are really, I can't separate the 2 because one is dynamic and one is balanced armature, and they both do exceptional in their thing. So I'm not at the stage to pick a winner between those 2. But for number 2, besides those 2, I'd probably go for this. It's that good. It's got great bass. It's got vents on the front that you can see. There's 3 of them, which gives you a sense of space. Completely sealed IEMs, or even with a small vent, really do give an in-head experience. These don't. I think these sound great and sound lively. I think the IT01s sound good off of this DAP, but not as good off of the Astel & Kern. I can't explain why. Of the 4, the only notable difference between device and the transducers is just the IT01s. The IT01s sound really good off of this, and they didn't sound really good off of the Astel & Kern. I can't explain why. Astel & Kern is a great DAP, and a lot of stuff sounded fantastic. For some reason, this pairs much better with the iBasso. I don't know why. This has a lot of detail and is... there's a black version, by the way. Somebody asked me why these are not more popular. It's not the sound. I think the white thing is kind of it looks like a tooth. Black would be better, and I think they got black, so that would be something to consider. In bass, I would say that these are good. These are not woolly or loose. These have a good, nice bass. I think particularly stuff with like jazz or something like that would be excellent. Hip-hop is good, and rock and roll is also good. Bass on these are good. Initially, I thought that there was a problem. I don't think so anymore. I think they sound fine. These sound good in bass, and these are called super bass, but they're not really that bassy. It's a very strange... I tried all the filters. I tried EQ. And even with a lot of bass head effort, these never really reach what I would ever call super bass. So if you're thinking these are all different price range, well, they are, but that's really not There are other sites that put stuff in price ranges and then rank them. I'm not really going to do that. The best gets the ranking. In the mids, I think these are fantastic, and these are the Mojo-esque. Where are we at? Goldust Woman now. I was actually listening to this album before I came to my conclusions, because this has slow. It's easy to follow. It's got women and male voices. It's got a lot of stuff mixed into the background. This is the Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac. Let me get some colorful stuff going on. So the vocals, the mids sound fantastic on this. I thought the mids sounded good on this, better than this, which I thought had a V. When I listen to this, it sounds less of a V than it did on the Astle and Kern. It sounds good. It sounds lively. These sound quite similar, actually. Very similar. If I had done my review with the low two, I might have come to a slightly different conclusion. I don't believe that things are that dependent on source, but the IT01s seem to. They seem to like this a lot. There's no EQ on this right now. Whereas these other three items didn't really seem to have much of a difference between the Astle and Kern and the low two. So bass is in this order. The super bass is last. I don't know why. Mids, I would say, is probably in the same order. These are fantastic. These are very good. I order black. And these are not as recessed as I thought. And these are fine. But they're not as good as these, which I don't understand the hype that went behind this. There's a dog barking, but we love animals around here, so don't even worry about it. In the treble, I would say that maybe the ANU ones give a little bit more info than any of the other ones. But that's because these are kind of seem to be slightly exceptional in that. Soundstage, because these have open vents in the front, I think these give a wider presentation than these other three. Like micro detail, the little stuff that people with OCD try to listen to, I would say this is one of the better ones that I've ever heard, and this is better out of these three. So I would say that if money is not really an object and you're going for a single dynamic, you could change the cable on this if you want. The JVC FX1100 is a very, very, very good set of IEMs. I believe it's better than the newer FW01 and 02s. I believe that. I think that if you're on a budget, that these are a fantastic set, and I want to update my opinion on the IT01s and say that they actually are a little better than I originally stated, because they sound good on this, and I'm detecting a slight dip in the mids, but not as much as I was with the Astle and Kern. So these are good, and for the price, they're fantastic. You get a great cable. This is something that's going to be entering my top 5, and this is going to be pushed down a little bit. And I'm going to reconsider this, and I don't think that the GT3 Super Bass is exceptional in any particular way. It doesn't have a big bass, which its name is bass. Its presentation is not exceptionally wide. It doesn't have any one thing that I'd say that's what this thing does good. So the list is being internationalized, and these are going to go in the list, and they're probably going to go in right now as number 3 behind the DM6 and the EX1000s, which I have not been able to separate myself yet between the two. And remember, the DM6 is $200, and the EX1000s are discontinued and can be had from $300 to $500 or $600. These are, I believe, still available and are $250 roughly, something like that. So these are pricier than these, but that's really not what the list is based on. People have said, why don't you do a $50 and under list? Why don't you do... Yeah, no. Save your money and get good stuff sometimes. Or find the good deal. The DM6s are $200. I think they punch stuff double their price right in the mouth and win. So it's not an indicator of quality. But a lot of people want to see it in brackets. But I'm not going to do that. So in my top 5 list, these are number 2 right here. And I would drop these from where they were. And these would be in my top 10, and I actually want to say that I should do a video and wreck these before I get rid of them. I actually think these are good, and the reason that people recommended them to me, I think I kind of get it now. They do sound nice. These are hype. GT3 Super Bass are total hype. The music that I used to come to my conclusion. Michael Jackson, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd, Aerosmith. First track that I used actually was Aerosmith because I was checking the pianos. And that's where I was a little surprised because they sounded better on this than they did with the Astle and Kern. And then I thought, whoa, wait a second. I'm sending these out. Let me pull these out because these are closer to this than I thought. Matter of fact, there might be some people that like this better than the ANU U1s. These are pretty good. Because I'm an opinion giver and not a reviewer, as nobody out there is, I can say I changed my mind. These IT01s are pretty good. These are good too. You could pick either one of these and not do wrong. I still think these are slightly better because they got a little bit better micro details, but these are really close, and these are about $100. And none of them compete with the JVCs. These are awesome. These are very, very good. And I'm not connected to JVC at all. This is all about keeping a list and to take the Chi-Fi stuff and to start sticking stuff from Japan and sticking stuff from around the world and seeing, competing with everybody. How does it do? Instead of Chi-Fi competing with itself, it's time to expand and to let foreigners in, as it were, other countries' goods. That's actually Chinese made. That's actually Chinese made. This is made in America, and this is made in Japan. So there's actually 2 Chi-Fis in here. So the list gets changed right now, and it would be JVC's coming into the top 5 and probably number 2. And I'm out. I got a ton of videos coming up, man. I got backed up a little bit. Christmas decoration stuff going on. So FX 1100, I highly rec these. They're beautifully built. They have a great sound. If they had a weakness, I would assume it would probably be something in the mids, but it's not anything that I'm detecting. And don't trust a graph unless the person's been doing it for a long time and you can find another graph that reflects a similar. Don't ever go off a single one. Go off of 2 or 3 and find the pattern. Find the dip that everybody can find and find the spike that everybody can find. Otherwise, don't lean on frequency graphs. Lean on opinion givers and your own ears, of course, whenever possible. And I'm out.